AEW Dynamite is back on the road. It's Rage Rover and we're in Miami. Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone and Excalibur are behind the microphones, and we're starting things off with a big strap match as well as tag team title matches coming up. Andrade's debut, a surprise debut. Let's just get straight into it. Cody Rhodes versus Cutie Marshall kicked things off. Rhodes flanked by Anderson was the first one out. Cody heads to the ringside seats and gives his weight belt to a fan. Meanwhile, his opponent Cutie Marshall was already present. Cody decided not to waste time and hit his rival with Suicide Rana. Finally, we got both men in the ring and they strapped together. Dustin Rhodes hit the ring and took care of Arrow and Solo backside, chasing him through the noisy AEW crowd. Cutie then dragged Cody to the post, but Rhodes was tagging the turnbuckles as well. When they got to the final ring post, Cody jumped on him, and the referee set the count. A few minutes later, and Cody had Cutie busted open and tagged two posts. The lights go on momentarily when they came on. There's no change in the ring, and Cody tagged the post. Marshall had enough time to recover as Cutie hit Cody with the top turnbuckle move. However, Cody was hulked up and nailed Marshall with a cutter, and Cody went for the buckles again. And got a trifecta in, and it was enough to keep Marshall down to give Cody the win. I'm going to give this 7 out of 10. This is a really, really entertaining match to kick off Road Rager. Very solid. Last week, Sean Spears nailed Sammy Guevara with a chair shot, as he wants to do again. Spears cut a backstage promo and said Sammy returned the favour before we got Kenny Omega and Hangman Page in the ring. Callis was trying to tell the legendary announcer that he wasn't putting up with it and saying real men don't quit, they get fired. Callis then brought up the recurring point that they've made that Omega has no more challenges in AEW. The crowd chants Hangman, but Callis ignores it, so Evil Uno comes out. Omega put Christian Cage over, and what's the capital of Thailand? A brawl breaks out with Omega's allies and the Dark Order. Hangman came out to the rescue of his friends from a beatdown and confronted Omega in the ring to get the crowd buzzing. The AEW champion slapped Page and decided to retreat. This was very good, kind of just building up to this feud, which I really can't wait for. Next up was Jake Hager, Santana and Ortiz versus Wardlow and FTR. Ortiz and Dax Harwood started things off, and Dax got some big chops in early on before Wardlow came in and inflicted some damage. Jake Hager got tagged in and proceeded to just destroy everyone in the ring that's not on his team. At this point, we got a chance to catch our breath. Wheeler was getting picked apart by Ortiz, but Harwood got the blind tag after this and got Hager and Wardlow inside the ring, and both men went for some big shots. Jake got an ankle lock in, but Tully Blanchard had a distraction. This allowed FTR to hit Wardlow with a big rig to secure the win. And after the match, Conan hit the ring, attempting to get some payback, but his attack doesn't really do anything to Wardlow. Tully Blanchard clips him in the knee, sending the Inner Circle members back to the ring to check on him. Yeah, this was alright. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I really liked the match, but yeah, we're just starting out to get to the point where it's quite repetitive between these two. The Good Brothers announced that Carl Anderson will take on John Moxley for the IWGP US Championship next week in a match that I can't wait for. That should be great. Good to see Mox back as well. Before we got MJF coming down to the ring to confront Jericho. Jericho made his entrance with Judas. Right as Jericho ran, a fan tried to come in and he attacks him. Jericho doesn't care about anything really, and about what stipulation as well. The Pinnacle leader said Jericho must face 4 opponents with stipulations of who's choosing and secure back-to-back wins before he can take on MJF. Jericho agreed and cut a blistering promo on MJF, including bringing up Greek mythology. Jericho signed a contract and MJF insisted the two of them shake hands to seal the deal. Chris shakes his hands and then pulls him in for a Judas effect. Yeah, this was alright, kind of just building up, but I did enjoy this. That was Andrade El Idolo making his AEW debut against Matt Sydal. Sydal hit a moonsault early on before Andrade went for a knee in the corner and Sydal dodged it with a lariat. The former NXT champion turned Sydal inside out with a leg lariat, and Andrade went to the top rope and was cut off by Matt. However, Sydal got himself in a pickle and Andrade almost hit a diving foot. This was avoided by Sydal, but Andrade eventually got the double knee in the corner and hit the hammerlock DDT to get his first win, and he said he isn't done and uses his belt to slap Sydal in the rings of Saturn. Andrade is set to make his mark in AEW, and I'm not going to stop him. This is bloody brilliant. Love him. 7 out of 10. Before Tony Schiavone was back in the ring with Arn Anderson. He was cutting a promo before the lights went out, and Aleister Black, Tommy End, Malachi Black, whatever he is, nailed Arn with a black mass. Cody came in to protect the Enforcer, but he did the same as well. Aleister Black is in AEW. Whatever his bloody name is, I'm just so buzzing to see it, going straight into the feud with bloody Cody Rhodes. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I just can't wait for this. Before we got the Blade and the Bunny versus Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy. Aubrey Edwards was checking on the competitors for illegal weapons before Orange was in the ring with the Bunny, and he landed his big kicks on her, but she tagged out to the Blade. He tried to attack Cassidy, but ate a drop kick for his troubles. Orange tried to counter a DDT before the Blade got a power slap in. They continued to chase Tyson. Statlander hit a blue thunderbomb. The Blade and Cassidy came in to protect the partners. Near the end of the match, while Aubrey Edwards was distracted, the Bunny had his hands on brass knuckles and was going to lay them to Blaze, which uses later Cassidy. However, Chris reaches over the ropes and tags herself in while Orange is out cold. She then leaps on the floor to disguise the fact she's tagged in. Chris sneaks back in and rolls the Bunny up for the pin. This was okay. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It was fine, but yeah, you kind of just progress the story on a bit, please. American top team guy, Jim Owner, Dan Lambert then cut a pretty amazing promo, tearing down AEW at the same time. He was invited by Tony Khan along with Amanda Nunes and George Masterville, and told the crowd how he's an old school wrestling fan and AEW can't match up to it, before Lars Arch came down and destroyed him. Quite enjoyed that. That was fine. Just a bit of entertainment on their first crowd back. Before we got the main event time, Young Bucks and Eddie, Young Bucks versus Eddie and Penta. The challengers cornered Cutler before Matt and Nick made the save. Nick took out Penta and Kingston with a chair. However, Eddie caught hold of a weapon and Penta improvised to use a drop kick early on. Penta then sent Matt through the table with a Canadian destroyer. However, we lost control as this backfired. Nick then hit a senton off the top rope with a can on Kingston, and Penta came back with a sling blade. The Bucks recovered and tried to double team Kingston, which got broken up by Penta, and the luchador swung him around. The Good Brothers came out and Penta took them to the floor with a big move. Cutler was then sent through a table by Kazarian, while Penta and Kingston had a brilliant double team finisher. A new ref came in and pulled out Nick to save the Young Bucks title reign. Kazarian then attacked Nick and got him into the ring. The Elite Hunter was taken out by the Good Brothers. Kingston took him out for some thumbtacks, but Matt threw a few of them into Eddie's face. Nicky sent Penta onto the thumbnails with a Hurricane Rana, but was unable to get the pin. The finish saw Nick stuff a few turnbuckles inside, and Eddie's mouth, and Matt hit a super kick to finish him off on Dynamite. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. This was absolutely brutal, but I must say I did quite enjoy it. It was quite entertaining. For this week, AEW Dynamite gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I really enjoyed this week's episode of Dynamite. It was solid from top to bottom, and the main thing was just having crowds in. Getting the debut with Malachi Black, that's just absolutely insane, and definitely unexpected, but it's the crowd back that really made this show. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, comments down below, follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to the channel and subscribe right now, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.